Hello and welcome back to Mahatma Talks. I am your host, Mahatma Ulimwengu, and today our guest is Justus Ndolo. He's a multimedia journalist and communication specialist based in Nairobi, Kenya. And recently he wrote an article titled Taxes and Death Kenyans Brace for More Pain as Ruto asks they tighten belts further. Obviously, we had that discussion on President Ruto earlier on this month, and today it's just an extension of that conversation. And of course, if you like this, like, share, subscribe, send this to your family and friends, and we will be back with Justus Ndolo. Since you've written your article, since these protests have erupted, just walk us through the developments over the past couple of weeks in Kenya. How have the protests in the streets evolved and intensified?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mahatma. Um, it has been, I don't want to say it's been funny because this one happened, the young people, the opposition of the finance bill began online. And this was begun by the people, by the young people who we call them Gen Z, those who were born between 1997 and 2012. And it began on different social media platforms like TikTok, and Twitter Spaces, and it grew as days goes by, as weeks progressed. The protest grew in size and intensified, and the young people marched to the cities, to the streets of the cities, demanding for President Ruto, demanding for the members of parliament to not to pass the finance bill, not to pass the finance bill. And you saw the day when they voted in favor of the finance bill, what happened? The protesters stormed the parliament and torched part of the parliament. It was on fire. You know,
Right.
in Kenya, members of parliament did not listen to what the young people were saying. Did not listen not only to the young people, but what to the citizen, to the local citizens were saying. They were saying, in fact, what they were saying that the finance bill is overburdening them. The taxes were too high for them. Remember last year, 2023, the same parliament passed 2023-2024 finance bill, and they introduced a tax of 2.5 on the salaries of the people who are paid, the people who are on pay slips. 2.5 on housing levy. If you're earning 30,000, it's 2.5 of 30,000 goes to housing levy every month. Again, remember they increased the VAT on fuel from 8% to 16%. So additional taxation could have messed many Kenyans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and since because obviously the bill got struck down, but since then it seems that President Ruto has been panicking a bit. I just read that he promised to pay for the flights of Kenyans studying abroad, something ridiculous like that. So just and seemingly he's giving a press conference every other day. Every time I go online, he's giving another press conference. So what commitments has he made? What tangible commitments has he made to the Kenyan people? And do you think the general public believes him when he tries to appease them?
Uh, President Ruto, yeah, has been having has been giving so many press conference, and not only that. Remember, President Ruto, in a few weeks ago, he engaged the young people on Space, on X. You know,
Mm.
So what the president is trying to do is trying to convince the young people, not only the young people, but Kenyans to believe in him. Because for so many days, for so many months, he has been lying ever since he became the president in August 2022. So many young people, even when the president engaged the young people, they were telling him that the problem with you, president, is because you don't speak the truth. It's because of everything that you speak is just a lie. You see? So the president is trying as much as he can to convince people to believe in him, to believe. Remember, one of the his agenda. He said that he's going to transform Kenya, is going to transform the economy of Kenya. But ever since the economy, people believe that the economy has worsened. So uh, his commitment and implementing significant economic reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy, reducing the cost of living, and addressing issues such as inflation and unemployment, because unemployment is one of the things that have been stressing the young people. In fact, most of the young people have been on the streets because they're saying that they don't have jobs, they don't have anything to do. And remember, President Ruto said his agenda is to create jobs for the young people.
Mm.
It's something that he has never implemented ever since. So he's trying to convince them, he's trying to tell them that there's a room for improvement, he's trying to tell them that he's working on creating jobs for them. And it seems that people are still not believing in him. You saw what he did 2 weeks ago. He fired all his cabinet. In
Right.
fact, half of his cabinet was fired.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so because he don't even have trust with his cabinet, he felt like the people that he chose to work for him I don't know much compared to what he knows. In fact, there's some time, sometimes back, there's a time he said that it seems that what he knows much than what these cabinet secretaries know from their ministry. So I think it's a way of trying to appease the youth and just to cool them and bring them down, so that they can come they can agree on maybe some of his manifesto, some of his promises that he has promised that he will work on. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, the protesters, it doesn't seem like they're backing down from the government suppression. What is the likeliest outcome of the ongoing strife in Kenya? What do you think this will all lead up to?
Well, one of the I don't think that President Ruto will what I believe is that President Ruto will adhere to what the people are demanding.
How so? How do you think that works?
That one is definitely going to work, and we have seen it has already started working.
Mm.
If you see, one of the things that have been troubling the people have been telling President Ruto that the cabinet, the people that you chose to be your cabinet secretaries, are incompetent, and we saw what President Ruto did. Like I've said, he fired half of his CSS, cabinet secretaries, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing the president has promised to lower the cost of living, create jobs for the young people, because I believe that if the president will not do this, it will be very difficult for him to vie, or rather to be in the ballot come 2027, because people are already tired with him. So I believe that the president will just uh, uh, um, bring the young people on board, and find ways of trying to solve some of these challenges that the young people have raised.
Okay. Yeah, so on that
Yeah.
note, so what do you think the political ramifications for President Ruto's actions will be? Because these constant press conferences and these firing your half of your cabinet, it just screams weakness, and it shows that he is vulnerable at this moment. So do you think he will be able to survive politically from this whole debacle? Will he, first of all, will he be able to make it to the end of his presidential term? And do you think he has a chance of being reelected?
Uh, uh, President Ruto has been there ever since, for so many decades now. He's not new when it comes to politics.
Right.
And when he did the cabinet, when he reshuffled, not reshuffled, when he fired the cabinet, the people that he brought on board, They are people from the opposition. Okay, so President Ruto is trying to play a political game of 2027. Actually, is not. If you can check well, is not trying to, yeah, to some extent we can say that he's weakening the opposition, okay, which is very okay. But yesterday when he was speaking in Mombasa, he said that he is people have been accusing him and saying he chose his friends to the cabinet, and so he tried to choose guys from the opposition so that we will not say that the people that he's working with, they are his friends, you know.
Hmm.
But still, this, like I've said, it's is trying to play a political game of 2027, because those people from the opposition, if the people from opposition are backing him now, they're saying President Ruto, what he did is correct. So it's more likely that the people that he chose from the regions that he chose, they will back him come 2027. So if you saw in Mombasa, Mombasa is one of the second biggest cities in Kenya, and
Right.
ever since the protests began, they have been protesting in Mombasa, in Nairobi, in Kisumu. When President Ruto chose Hassan Joho from Mombasa, the former governor of Mombasa, to become the CS, the cabinet secretary for mining, when he went there, the people were praising him. The people were saying that what President Ruto did, it's a nice thing. You see?
Yeah.
And then you wonder, are these the same people who are on the streets?
Yeah.
So President Ruto, I think he's playing a game of 2027 actually.
Okay. So, what, as a citizen on the ground, what is the growing sentiment of the average Kenyan citizen? Are people happy with the protests and the fact that they're still ongoing and there's still civil unrest?
Yeah, I believe I've been feeling like the people are already divided. The people are not speaking in one voice like they used before the withdrawal before the withdrawal of the finance bill, because some were saying that the finance bill is the enemy, you see.
Right.
And so ever since the finance bill was withdrawn, many people have been asking, why should we go on the streets? Why should we go on the streets to protest? Why are we protesting? Remember, some of the people and the people who have been on the streets nowadays, they are, if you can see, the numbers have gone down. The numbers have gone down. It shows you that the weight of this protest, it's decreasing every day,
Okay.
because the people who are on the streets today, they are calling for President Ruto to resign,
Yeah.
which I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Mm.
So the people now are speaking differently, Others are saying, because the president withdrew the finance bill, let's give him time and see how will things work. Let's give him time to see, after firing the cabinet secretary, how will things work, instead of saying let's President Ruto resign. So others are supporting President Ruto to resign, and others are still supporting what they are backing on what President Ruto did.
Okay. Yeah, well, now to close off, just in general, how do you feel, or well, what senses do you get? How does Kenya go back to normal after all of this chaos? I know you said that the protests are coming down now. There's not as many people in the streets, but there are still people in the streets, and it seems as if this might be a prolonged affair. So, how do you think Kenya goes back to normal, if there ever was a normal?
Uh, Kenya will go back to normal. I feel anytime soon Kenya will be back to normal, because this is not the first time we are witnessing a protest over the finance bill. Last year, remember, opposition leader Raila Odinga led Kenyans in demonstrations against the finance bill.
Hmm.
Then what happened later? Everything calmed down and things were running as usual. So I'm so sure, even with what has been happening and the changes that have been made by the government, things will just become back to normal. And that one, I can assure you, Mahatma, it won't take long.
Okay. It's strong
Yeah.
words. Anyways, Justus Ndolo, thank you very much for taking some time out, and hopefully in the future we'll have you to, to give you a commentary on the ongoings in Kenya.
Thank you so much, Mahatma. I
All right,
appreciate.
all right. Cheers. Have a good day.